So several days have elapsed. The clay is starting to harden up a little bit. And now it's time to get into the steel. So I've cut out a piece of 18 gauge here. And this is for the top of the head. I'm basically going to do this in several sections that will be TIG welded together because of the configuration of this particular one. So the main sculpting, the organic style of sculpting, will happen on this piece here. This was my template for cutting it out, and now I've gone ahead and traced, or basically plotted out the landmarks, the main landmarks here, and I'm just going to show you how I treat this now. I'm just going to cut out this side. So when I center it onto the piece of steel, I can then sharpie it on. That, flip it over to the center on the other side. Wait, there's more. I'm also going to do little cutout windows here for these parts. Out of my way. Okay, so that gives me my rough landmarks there, and I can begin by dropping in some of these topographical areas, and let's begin. So I'm going to begin by putting it over the stake, and I'll be hitting with my hammer on the far side of the stake. Basically, I'm pushing or pinching the metal and pushing it down. So I'm not hitting the stake, the hammer to stake, it's hitting beside, and that's very important. So I just have to locate it in space there. Once I get my bearings, then I can start pushing down that area. Okay, so I've just did the perimeter here and just raised up those lines there. Now I'm going to go over to the forge, heat this thing up, and anneal it to soften up this piece of steel. I just used it fresh from the mill there, and I would like to soften it up now, so I'm going to start really pushing in some depth there, and I don't want things to crack. So I will do the annealing and let it cool off, and then back to it. So it's been annealed. I've just chalked out my outline again, so back to the stake. Working with very dull stakes to begin with, by the way, and then we will sharpen up as this goes on. But I'm just going to shut up right now and get into this. We've got an hour or two pounding to make things happen. So see you later. Mid-process, I've got the major bumps pushed out and just spent about 10 minutes with Sharpie, going off my clay reference here, trying to get some more specific highlights there that I'm now going to start trying to get a little bit more of the detail dropped in. Here we go. I should mention sharper stake, sharper hammers. I'm going for more refined detail. I just have to be careful about punching through, but I really want to get precise with my lines right now. Okay. Well along in the process here. I still got a fair bit of refining to do, but it's starting to get complicated as to, well, what do I do next? Right now, what I'm going to do is I've dropped down the eye area there. I'm going to come in from the other side and just bulge out to create that eyeball shape there. And that's kind of a cool one that usually you get instant gratification on this. So I'll just do that and let's see what happens, shall we? I'm going to go over here to my little wood stake with my tiny little shot bag, and I'm going in with a ball peen hammer from the inside. So I'm just going to cradle the piece onto the shot bag, and as soon as my cameraman tells me he's seen what he's supposed to be seeing, here we go. Okay, flip that over, and now I should have, and unfortunately the way the scale is, we're not getting a real clear indication there, but hopefully if the camera is picking this up at the right angle, you can see I've got a bit of a bulge there. I see now that I need to get a little bit more at the top and then probably sharpen it down at the bottom to get a really nice crisp looking eye. That's one of the details that I really like to spend time on, trying to get the two eyes symmetrical. That is something that you notice very easily as people, and also just getting some really good crisp detail there. The eyes draw the eye, and it's one of the places that you really need to spend a little extra time on. The rest of it you can fudge a little bit more. So I'm just going to play with that some more and just see what happens and then continue on. Okay, I think we're going to call this video. Still a fair bit of refinement to do here on the face, but it's coming along quite nicely. I'm happy with how crisp things are coming out here. So in our next video, we will start templating up for all the little jaggy points there and start forming those guys. That's going to be quite an exercise in itself, and I'm just not really sure how that's all going to play out. So join us next video. In the meantime, please subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that stuff. See you next time. Back out.